Hi, this is Zach Meir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Tuesday, the 25th of February. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which has just about managed to obey that uptrend line from last month. The level there nominally around 86.40. We did have an overshoot, 86.14, but it's basically held. Below that, we were fearing we might have to go down to 8600, which we've so far avoided. And obviously looking for a retest of the record levels earlier this month, 88.20. The overall pattern here, while we remain above 8600, is that we would head up to 9000 by the end of next month, although apart from peace in our time, it's difficult to work out exactly what would do that. The other plus point is the way that the RSI has bounced above neutral 50. It's now 57, which is just the right place for it to bounce in an uptrend. Moving along to the DAX, where there's all sorts of political turmoil, but the market remains comfortably near record highs, which nobody seems to have mentioned. Rising trend channel there, the floor of the channel there just above 22,000, and while we're above that, look at the top of the channel as high as 23,400 by the end of next month. So quite a simple setup there, despite all the noise. Moving on to the Dow, which is still struggling in the way that we've had a major double top there at 45,000. We're also finding resistance at the falling 50-day moving average, which is not a good look. That suggests that we've got to hit the floor of the channel there, 42,800, and maybe even fill that gap from last month at 42,600 before the dust can finally settle. Obviously, issues like tariffs, etc., causing a little bit of uncertainty. Above the 50-day line, looking for 45,000 quite logically again. And if you're an ultra bull, top of the channel there, 46,700, the area to shoot for. Moving along to Bitcoin, and here we've had the big break down that we feared, so breaking that neckline support there, 94,000. Below that, we were hoping that we would hold the floor of that rising trend channel from April last year, which we haven't, but we did have factored in 85,000 as a lowest level, which was support on the way up for this market, and I suppose that's the target. We'll probably now get even more bearish in the sense that there's the 200-day line there at 81,500. The other point to note, which was the message all along, that we've had multiple failures at RSI 50, which turned out to be the leading indicator on the downside, as well as the falling 50-day line, but the RSI really was the giveaway that we'd have a rather painful breakdown after the double top there. It's a sort of double head and shoulders top for the crypto, the leading crypto market. Moving on to gold, which one hopes will not be in the same kind of boat as Bitcoin at the moment. It isn't. Recent support around 29.20. Above that, we're looking for 30.20 at the top of that rising trend channel from February. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with Angle, which is attempting to revive itself with bouncing off a rising 50-day line again. That is the third / fourth time we've done that since the lows were put in November. And above that 50-day line at 12 pence, looking for the top of the broadening triangle there from April, as high as 20 pence by the end of next month. Best case would be a move up towards 26 or 27 pence, the upper parallel of that triangle, but I think we might want to be a bit more patient and just see us get up towards the upper teens before anticipating that. On to Arkle, which I learned yesterday was a horse which died in 1970. Here we've got the share still in a mid-move consolidation. Looks like a mid-move consolidation ahead of a move to the upside, and as high as 0.58. 50 and 200-day lines now rising quite convincingly, so above 0.3, looking for 0.55 plus, hopefully by the end of next month. On to Georgina, which has managed to put out some decent news again today. Shares slightly up, but still need to break that 50-day line there at 6.5 pence. If they can do that convincingly over the near term, then we are looking for 10 pence perhaps now by the end of next month. There's a gap to fill at 8 pence, which is the initial target, but at least we are in a more stable mode, and the RSI still trying to bounce at neutral 50, which is a positive. On to MicroSalt, which was quite a mover to start the year. You can see that the shares still basically shuffling along and above the 50-day moving average and just above the 200-day moving average at 75 pence. While we're above that 200-day line and above RSI 50, we're certainly looking for a breakout towards at least the 90 pence area and ideally up to £1.10 by the end of next month. Not sure what would do that. Presumably it would be contract wins of one kind or the other. On to Rome Resources, where the shares are up in response to the latest grade news. Interesting here that the shares have been rather reticent, even though the company's come up with pretty good news on the tin discovery front. Gap higher today towards the 50-day line, but still need to see an end-of-day close above that 50-day line at 0.13 to give us a retest of the main resistance area here, 0.36. Ideally, we now stay above recent support around 0.28. Onto a stock which I've never looked at before, which is Uniphar, and here we've got what looks to be a rising trend channel base within a channel which has been in place since November, top of the channel there, up to £2.40, and we're looking for that while we remain above recent support at 197. RSI's bounced above neutral 50 as well, so that suggests that we are on our way, especially with the solid candles that we had in the latter part of January and also so far today. Finishing off with Wood Group, where the research was that there were a few Scottish buyers, Scottish investors, buying the stock when the stock was right at the low. That was around sort of 24-25 pence, and that rumour has so far proved to be correct. We've managed to peak at 40 pence. So obviously the theory there was that Scottish investors might not buy you around, but always look for a bargain in the stock market. So that has come to pass. If we're lucky, we will, and we stay above 30 pence, which was resistance on the way down, we'll make it up to the bottom of the gap there at 50 pence, maybe over the next few weeks. I suppose the big thing here is that the company's either too big to fail, or that another or a buyer will come in and put the company out of its misery. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.